What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.
Today we're going to be talking about team issues, and I've got a special guest joining me here, Dr. Gary Nelson. He's a retired dentist from Idaho. Through his career, was a very, very successful guy, had a wonderful practice, and so I wanted to interview him a bit today about what worked to motivate his team, what motivated everybody to work together as a team. So it's going to be kind of a team topic today, which I'm pretty excited about. So, as I think about the team and what's going on in your office and all this functionality, it's something I want to bring up because we're always faced with how do we keep our team engaged, how do we keep them excited coming into the practice, doing what they want to do that they're excited about. How do we keep them focused rather than us encouraging your doctor to run around with a whip and just start bullwhipping people, and that's obviously not what we want to do. So I want to turn to Dr. Gary and get his input as to what he did through the span of his career that he found successful, and just kind of brainstorm. It'll be just kind of a fun conversation between the two of us about what's worked for him, what hasn't.
I don't think that I did anything different than anybody else. I don't know. I wasn't really in anybody else's office. We had a really close team. We got along very well. The girls, we didn't have the negative, this girl complaining about that girl. I did once, and I fired her, and that helps keep the team together, not being afraid to let someone go who's poisoning the well. We did a lot of things together. Every summer, we went whitewater rafting. Everybody's birthday, we take them out for lunch. Christmas, we did Christmas dinners, and everybody looked forward to Christmas. I tried bonusing. I tried doing things to motivate the staff, like bonuses.
One of the things that I hear as I'm listening to you is there's a few things to contemplate. One is, what's the age and the maturity of the business and the practice and of all the people in terms of tenure together? And the reason why I say that is if you have a young practice, let's compare it to a child. When your business is brand new, your business becomes an infant the minute you commit to it and you put money into it. You now have an infant business. And at some point it grows into a toddler. And the challenge going from infant stage to toddler stage, as we know if we have children, is that now the kid's mobile and they can get hurt more. So when you have an infant business, the amount of pain is relatively low because your investment's probably relatively low. But now that you have a toddler, you've invested more and more and more, and you've hired more and more people, to where if you have turnover or there's financial stress or risk there, it's a bigger risk. And then we grow into preteen and teenagers. And so I kind of hear the same thing with what you're describing with the bonuses as an example. So when you have a young business, you're not even sure if you can do the bonus, and you offer it, and now you can't afford it, so you give it, but maybe now you don't get a paycheck as an example, and that's not healthy, of course, or sustainable. And then at some point later, it's kind of a mature business, it's sort of flat, and if the bonus was set during the time of growth, now all of a sudden it's a very achievable goal to where we're paying out a bonus and we're not getting anything for it. It's now part of the income. And so that creates a problem. So the age of the practice and the maturity of the business and of the team together, I think, plays a big, big role in some of these issues when it comes to team issues and how do we treat them. If you have a well-functioning team and then you have a cancer come into it, it can disrupt the entire thing. Or oppositely, you can have a team that's at odds with each other, and you can have someone like AMP come in and all of a sudden straighten that puppy out very, very quick. If you watched our show last week, we talked about the power of focus, at least a little bit. It was referenced in a video that we played in the show. And what the 90-day bonus does, it allows us to hyper-focus on an area of the practice. And if we hyper-focus on it over a 90-day period, we probably create a new habit. And then what we need to do is drive our focus to somewhere else. And if the habit sticks and stays, now we've solved or remedied an issue there, and allows us to take this incentive money to another area of the practice where we want to drive a different behavior. So my advice is always, from a bonus perspective, 90 days max. Part of what I'm hoping we can piggyback off from last week was, we had suggested last week that you purposefully celebrate your small successes. So if we're talking about team attitude and team energy, the exercise we gave you last week should play a significant role in what it is we're discussing today. So my hope is that you guys were able to start that process, and you're starting to see some of the benefit of that celebration, to where, again, it makes the work atmosphere more fun. You know, I would love to hear from any of you what you have found that has worked, that we can share with other offices and share the success. I mean, one of the beauties of what we get to do is the community that hopefully the AMP team creates with all of our clients, and the ability to share that information. So if you've got ideas that have worked really, really well for you, would love to see those sent to your coach so they get trickled on up to all of us. And then if you have future show requests that you want to see, I would love to be hearing those, so we can get those into our pipeline and start planning and doing the research for whatever topics it is that you want to hear. Otherwise, I appreciate you joining me today. Gary, it's an absolute pleasure having you on with us.
Happy to be here.
And look forward to seeing you all next week, Monday morning, 8 a.m. on Mountain Time, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Until then, have a wonderful week.
What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.